So I'd like to begin the lab today, essentially just to finish up this morning slide. Yeah, just finish up a bit of that. And then we'll go through some of the things that I would like you to do in the lab. Okay, now because we are not meeting up anytime soon this week or so, then you have to do this lab in your group within your own schedule, in your time. But of course, next week I would expect the result, or rather your report, to come in. Okay. Why don't I just finish up my lecture this morning, and then we continue with the lab. Okay, is that all right? Boleh, yeah? Okay. And just a quick one. Okay. Okay. Right. We stopped about this page, this slide on this particular cultured species, aquatic species, where now this is your leech, Hirudo medicinalis, leeches for medical purposes. Now Rana catisbiana is your bullfrog, which people culture as for food as well. Huh? Okay. As I said earlier, you travel to Thailand, in some parts of Thailand, they might display the frog legs among the fish or seafood. Okay, so there you are. You have your seafood being displayed, and your chicken legs, and then in between that is your frog legs. So be careful. Some of you may not like to eat frog legs, but some of you may want to. So choose carefully. All right. I was looking for some seafood. Where was it? I was in Phuket. I think I was in Phuket long time ago. We were in Phuket, and then we were looking for walking along the beach and to get some seafood to barbecue. And then I saw something like this. Hey, what is that? Oh yeah, frog legs. Okay, I never seen frog legs in Malaysia, but they were huge, big frog legs. They say, I asked the guy, how was it? Oh, this is very tasty, sir. Very tasty frog legs. Okay, if you have eaten chicken drumstick, you should try frog legs. Better than chicken drumstick. So obviously I did not try lah. Okay, but some of my friends did. Some of us did actually. Okay, all right. So the food preferences and different people, different culture, different religion. Sometimes we prefer different kind of food. All right. Anyway, now, this is also an aquaculture species. This is a crocodilus farm. There is a farm like this in Thailand. Yeah, people go to Thailand and visit crocodile farm. What do you think they grow crocodile for? Is it for the meat alone or for something else? What do you think? Guys? Huh?
For the skin.
For the skin, correct. Yeah, now, okay, thanks for replying. Okay, so they raise crocodile for the skin, which is used as they call it, crocodile leather, right? Okay, kulit buaya, crocodile leather, to make into your handbags lah, you know, and then what do you call this? Sometimes shoes as well, shoes. Leather, what do you call this? Leather bags, handbags, all these things. They're very expensive too, definitely, right? Very expensive, okay? And we have fish like this. This is called sturgeon. Now, sturgeon is normally, or rather is caught in the wild in some parts of Russia, Ukraine, all those areas. We have the Caspian Sea, and so on. It's a big, like a big lake as well. But we imported this sturgeon into Malaysia, I think about 10 years ago. And there is a company in Tanjung Malim. Now, Tanjung Malim is in Perak. Okay, if you travel north from KL, before Ipoh, like halfway through, you reach a town called Tanjung Malim. Now, that Tanjung Malim is a place where you can find one company selling growing sturgeon, and they sell sturgeon meat but most importantly, what do you think they culture sturgeon for? Is it for the
Caviar.
meat? For the what?
The eggs.
Their eggs, yes. The sturgeon is most popularly cultured for their eggs. All right, the eggs are called caviar, 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 and very expensive too. The sturgeon caviar is very expensive. You know, I had an opportunity to eat sturgeon caviar or eggs. It's like just salted fish eggs lah. Salted fish eggs, and you eat it together with saltines. Saltines are basically crackers. Crackers, what do you call this? Biscuits, small biscuits. You put the eggs on the biscuit, and then you eat it like that. Okay, and you know, I think 1 kilo of caviar easily can cost you about anywhere between 5 to 10,000 ringgit. 5 sampai 5,000 sampai 10,000 ringgit untuk 1 kilogram telur ikan sturgeon ni. Expensive, really expensive. All right. Okay. Traditionally, people just take the eggs, but nowadays they say, hey, how can you take the eggs and just, you know, throw away the fish? And people do eat the fish as well now. The fish meat, of course, you see it's quite a bony fish, banyak tulang, and then the bones and the scales are very bony, but they do eat the fish as well and make it into some kind of a soup and so on. Okay. We had that. I had that before. I had sturgeon soup before, and then, you know, sturgeon caviar, and that was back in 2018, I think. All right. Now, aquaculture-based ingredients. Some of the aquaculture products are used, you know, for some particular purposes. Now, your gracilaria that you grow in Sandakan, in Semporna, all those places. Okay. I think some you can get some in Kudat also, I think. Now those seaweed processed and then make into agar, okay, agar here, all right, and it's a very important component in food as food ingredient. And also the carrageenan from your agar or from your seaweed is also a component of your toothpaste, chocolate, emulsion, this what do you call this, whipped cream, and ice cream. So a lot of the ingredients of the food that we eat comes from the carrageenan. Carrageenan is the product that comes out of our seaweed. All right, and it's a very important source of food. Okay, all right. Some people eat, of course, some people eat the seaweed as they are. Some make it into what do you call this, fermented seaweed and so on. Okay. All right, and this is also an aquaculture-based ingredient. We collect some of the shrimp shells or the crab shells, and we pound them very small, very finely, and then process them. We process them and make it into what we call as kitosan. Okay. Now the shell of crabs and the shell of shrimp and prawns have this component called chitin. So chitin, when they are processed, they become kitosan, and this kitosan is the byproduct of shrimp shells. And this is an example of kitosan where they used to make into what do you call this? Health products as well. Okay, for skincare products, to help with your to reduce your weight, all right, and so on. Well, some places they culture oysters, and oysters to produce pearls instead of just for food. Some kind of some oysters, I mean, a lot of oysters are raised for food, right? But some of them are grown specially to get the pearls, all right? And pearls can come in different colors. I've seen one of the pearl farm somewhere in Hanoi, I think. I forgot, one of the bays in Halong Bay. One of the places called, in Halong Bay. Halong Bay is in Hanoi, I think. Okay. So if you Google Halong Bay, Halong, Halong Bay, Bay, there, it's a very nice place. Yeah, you can go on a boat ride or cruise on the boat, and then they can take you out, visit the pearl farm, pearl farm in the Vietnam there in the Halong Bay. All right. And of course, this is the caviar I mentioned to you, the crocodile skin handbags. All right. And some people, they are more interested in recreation. So they grow udang galah, they grow freshwater prawns, and they stock it into this small area like this concrete tanks for people to fish them out. All right. So this is a picture in Singapore, and people go out and then try to catch udang galah or freshwater prawns in concrete ponds like this. All right. This is called a spar fish, and the name of this fish is called Gararufa. Gararufa, a particular fish, and it is not indigenous to Malaysia. It's people find it in Turkey, yeah. And what is unique about this fish is that it tends to eat up your dead skin cells. All right, dead skin cells. All right. You have eczema and so on, that it will bite on. Let's say if you have your leg, some eczema or dead skin cells, dip your leg inside an aquarium full of this spar fish. They will slowly eat away your dead cells, skin cells. All right. So this is one example of a Gararufa fish where they culture this and to remove dead skin cells and so on. Now, in Malaysia, because we do not have this Gararufa fish, what we do is to replace it with our tilapia. You know, if you grow tilapia, the size 2-inch or 3-inch tilapia, and put it in a tank, and then don't feed the tilapia, just put your foot in there. The tilapia will go and nibble away your eczema also, I think. Yeah, I've seen that. Some people do that instead of this fish. This fish is expensive. That's why they use our tilapia. Now, some fish, this is quite interesting. I think some of you may have seen this before. This is the original fish is called zebra danio, right? And it's just like whitish, just bluish and black in color and so on. It's not as iridescent or as psychedelic as this in terms of the color. All right, but now there are companies which actually sell this particular fish, all right, in many colors like bright orange, bright green, purple, pink, and so on. All right. Initially, the color is not bright like this. It's only, like as I said, maybe black and white, but and then not as striking as this. Now, what they did was they actually took the luminescent. They took this luminescent seaweed, no, not seaweed. What do you call that? It's not seaweed. It's no, just tip of my tongue here. Okay. Obor. What is obor in English? Jellyfish. Yes, jellyfish. So what they did was, they see some jellyfish. They have this luminescent cells. All right. So they glow in the dark. So some of these jellyfish glow in the dark. So what this company did was, they collect these glow in the dark cells from the jellyfish. So they collect this glow in the dark cells from jellyfish, which is like either bright green, bright yellow, bright pink, and so on. They collect this, and then they inject it, okay, into the cells of your zebra danio when they're still at the embryonic stage. So as the embryo grow bigger and bigger, okay, they incorporate the luminescent cells that was taken already from the jellyfish. And that is how they incorporate the color like this. And for this company, all these fish, they make it sterile so that only they can sell this fish. This fish does not breed on its own. Okay, they cannot produce progeny, they cannot reproduce. They are sterile. So if you want to buy this sort of fish, you must buy from that company. Good business, isn't it? All right, it's a good business. You cannot breed them. You have to buy it from whatever company that produce these things. Okay, there have a few of these companies. I think in Taiwan, in what do you call this? US and so on. Now, some of the fish that we produce in hatcheries, not only for production, for food, for ornamentals and so on, they also to restock our rivers. This is called a natural stock enhancement. For example, some of our rivers in Malaysia, okay, are already depleted of what we call as the natural stock, fish stocks. What are natural fish stocks? Okay, natural fish stocks, which is indigenous to Malaysia, like ikan kelah. Okay, ikan kelah, ikan tengas, okay, ikan terbol, all this sort of fish, which is normally found in Malaysian rivers and waters, because of the invasive species from other countries in the river, the production or the natural habitat of this fish that we have is already being decimated or being destroyed. Some of the babies of these local fish are also eaten by the invasive species. And so much so that you'll find that our local species are getting less and less and less. But then we find more of this peacock bass, which is invasive. We find more of the red tail pangasius, so ikan baung merah, ikan baung sirip merah, all right? And we also have this ikan bandaraya, Plecostomus. These are all invasive species. Look at Kelang River, Sungai Kelang, Sungai Gombak, okay? All these rivers are now infested with ikan bandaraya. And so much so that you don't have the local species there anymore, okay? So one of the issue with fishery management is the invasive species. And this is already an ongoing battle all the time. So we shouldn't be helping out, I mean, all of us, aquaculture students, yeah, all of you, shouldn't be just adding any sort of fish in the river and adding to the problem of invasive species, okay? We talk more about invasive species in another time, okay? All right, so what are the rules of aquaculture? Why is it important, all right? Other than for food security and food demand and supply. Remember, food security, when you talk about food security, first of all, it means that you have enough food, first of all, okay? Food security, what does it mean? First, enough food. Number two, the food is, when I say enough, it means enough during most times of the year, not enough only for January or March or July, but enough throughout the year. That is what it means by food security. Okay, it means when we want to eat it, it's there. That is the meaning of food security. A reasonable quantity to supply the needs of the population. Number two, it must be affordable too. Okay, one is it's available. Number two is affordable. Affordable means you and me can buy lah. If you go to the shop and say you want to buy ikan kembung, okay, mackerel, actually the cost of mackerel, let's say 12 ringgit per kilogram, suddenly the cost shoot up to 50 ringgit per kilogram. Oh lama, I say, I don't think you can buy anymore like that. 50 per kilogram is ridiculous, isn't it? And chicken is even cheaper than that. So no more ikan kembung for you. All right. So then if, you know, it's important that we have this understanding of what it means with national food security. Means enough supply, reasonable price, affordable by most of the people in Malaysia. Number three, it has to be safe to be eaten also. Safe, yeah. Safe means selamat dimakan bahasa Malaysia. Selamat dimakan means no contamination, no pollution, the fish is good, of good quality, tastes good, and so reasonably good. Okay, all right, not fish which has been contaminated with other things. All right, so that's what it means by national food security. Okay, security makanan. So lessen pressure on capture fisheries. Obviously, capture fisheries is already coming down very much. Generate foreign exchange earnings. You sell some of the fish that you produce. You provide employment to people, career development for all of you students of aquaculture. You know, as you go out of UPM, some of you might be interested to start your own business, right? And some of you may be working in a company already doing aquaculture and being employed by them. And then diversify incomes from fishermen and farmers. Some farmers and fishermen, they during the monsoon season, like for instance, in Terengganu and Kelantan, during the monsoon months of December and January, maybe they can start to grow fish in their backyard, all right, and special structures or containers to supplement their income during those times when they cannot go out to the sea. And of course, they provide business and investment opportunity to make money in aquaculture, all right, especially for commercial purposes, for export and so on. So, what are the initiatives? Okay, initiative to increase production and value of aquaculture product. Well, number one is increase productivity with technological advancement in intensive culture system. Okay, we'll talk about culture systems later on, if not next week, the week after. I will introduce you to some of the key intensive, the key aquaculture production systems, and then we can make a comparison, which one is extensive, which one is semi-intensive, which ones are intensive. We can make that comparison, okay? And of course, we need to promote production and marketability of freshwater species, especially marine fish species. People have no issue of buying, you know, and consuming, but normally the freshwater species, we need to have a bit more promotion because not many people prefer freshwater fish species which are cultured. All right. I know some of us, even some of the lecturers in our jabatan do not prefer freshwater fish species. Maybe she had a bad experience before, or she said, or just like, you know, she just did not want to eat freshwater fish. She prefers marine fish. All right. So it depends. That's why it's important to market the product. Okay. Now in US, United States, talking about marketability, they sell this catfish, you know, the catfish, ikan keli in Malaysia. You sell in the market, people buy and do what? Goreng. They do ikan keli goreng, example. A fried ikan keli, maybe ikan keli in the masakan lemak, okay, some kind of coconut gravy and so on. But in the US, they grow the catfish a bit bigger and they make what we call as catfish nuggets. Catfish nuggets. Okay, they do sell catfish nuggets in the US, just like your chicken nuggets here. Same shape, okay, same shape, same size, but the taste is the taste of fish. It's interesting, you know. This is what they have there as chicken nuggets. Sorry, fish nuggets or catfish nuggets. And then we will need to promote good aquaculture practices and better post-harvest handling. Post-harvest handling means you need to put enough icing, letak air batu yang secukupnya, put enough ice so that the product stays better, stays good, in good shape, quality for a longer period. And then you need to introduce also a new species of fish, plus hybrids with strict regulation and control, meaning that you don't want to just throw it in the river, let it grow in the river. Any new hybrid should be cultured with strict protocols so that we do not allow it to go out and invade our rivers and so on. Okay, it might cause problem with the native species. Diversify product and market segments, I mentioned to you, niche marketing, online products, during the COVID-19 pandemic and people are not going out and to buy fish, a lot of fish farmers are have to suffer. Why? Because they cannot sell their product during the pandemic. Okay, so much so that they need to find ways and means to sell their product, not only live or chilled or frozen, but they have to make it into a different sort of processed items. Okay, now one of our students, one of your seniors in Temerloh, one of our seniors in Temerloh, what she did was, because during the COVID, they had a bit of a tough time to sell their ikan patin sungai, from cages. Normally, she would sell about 18 ringgit per kilogram to people who come to her shop and sell live also during the weekends. Okay, so 18 ringgit per kilogram is good money also. But then when you cannot sell, what happens? Okay, then you have stock, you keep stock in the cages. The longer you keep, the more you have to feed the fish. They get bigger. Sometimes if it gets too big, people will not buy. So what this girl did was, she dressed ni in bahasa Malaysia called siang ikan. She dressed the fish properly, cut into pieces, keep it frozen, and then she sells the fish online marketing of frozen Temerloh patin. All right, imagine that. Okay, frozen patin from Temerloh selling online, and then if she can sell live to people who come to her shop for 18 ringgit per kilo, how much do you think she sells online for the frozen ikan patin? Any idea? Anyone want to guess? How much she's selling the frozen ikan patin online per kilo? Come on. What do you think?
12?
No. Much more than that, really.
20.
Okay, so 20 is slightly more than 18, right? But she sells it for 35 ringgit per kilogram. 35 lah, gang. 35 ringgit per kilogram for ikan patin frozen from Temerloh. Of course, dua kali ganda kan, twice the price of live ikan patin or fresh chill ikan patin, and she sold it around the country, even to Singapore for that matter. People from Singapore who have been to Temerloh, they also requested to buy the ikan patin frozen. All right. Okay, so this is something interesting. Now, sometimes when things happen, during tough times, people become more imaginative. They become more creative with their product segments. Okay, so all of you should be thinking along this line also. Figure out, how can I market my aquaculture product better? Okay, can I make this? Can I make that? All right, not just selling live or selling chill or just frozen as it is, but can I make it, can I maybe put some marinade, ikan perap, for instance, marinated fish? Can I ferment the fish? Can I make it to fish nuggets, for instance, sell at the pasar malam? All sorts of things. Okay, grow my catfish a bit bigger, do the filleting, and then sell catfish nuggets. That's what they do in the US, all right? I've not seen anyone selling catfish nuggets here in Malaysia, right? This is maybe something to explore, all right? So as I said, online sales picked up during the COVID lockdown. This is one example. And another thing that I would like to share with you also, as we develop our aquaculture farms, as we expand, we cannot avoid this particular important aspect of aquaculture, which is called sustainable aquaculture development. What does it mean when you say sustainable aquaculture development? When you say sustainable, it has to cover three important aspects of aquaculture. One is economic sustainability. The other one is environmental sustainability. The other one is social sustainability. What does it mean when you say economic sustainability. Now, economic sustainability means that your business enterprise, your fish farming, okay, your fish cage culture, your fish pond, your shrimp pond, what you do, first of all, have to generate some income, have to make you money. For instance, if you sell ikan patin for 18 ringgit per kilogram live, right, in Temerloh, 18 ringgit per kilogram live, your cost should be about 8 ringgit, 7 ringgit. Okay, half or less than half would be very good if you can do that. All right. If you can do that, then you have some money, some margin there. Let's say the cost is 8 ringgit per kilogram. You sell it at 18, that means you make 10 ringgit per kilogram. That 10 ringgit per kilogram that you make can cover for your gaji, okay, can cover for your labor cost, okay, and can cover for other things, and you want to develop or expand your cage, you can do with that money. Okay, so this is called economic sustainability. The other one is environmental sustainability, meaning that when you do aquaculture, make sure you do not pollute your environment. So how do you make sure that you don't pollute the environment? Well, you can reuse the water, you can recycle the water, you can use a biofloc system. Now, biofloc, maybe some of you have not heard about this. I will talk to you more about this during what we call as our class on aquaculture production systems. Okay, I tell you more about biofloc, B-I-O-F-L-O-C. Okay, and of course, the third one here you see is social sustainability, meaning that people who work on your farm, who are they? Where do they come from? Are they Malaysians? Are they from Indonesia? Are they from Thailand or Myanmar? Obviously, you would like to have Malaysians working for you, okay, in a farm. And are you giving them proper recognition for you? And the going salary rate is, let's say, 2,000 ringgit per month. And here you are giving them 500 ringgit per month. That is not social sustainability, all right? You need to make sure you give people their income, what is due to them based on their professional services. What services do they do? Okay, so this is something important. And also, when you run a big project, you want to make sure that your neighbors, your neighboring farms, your neighbors are happy with your presence. Social sustainability, all right? There is a particular term called blue revolution. Blue revolution, which means that you change from extensive fish farming to intensive fish farming. This intensifying of production require some modifications to your culture systems, all right? So we will talk about blue revolution another time, okay? So challenges in intensive culture requires extensive use of resources, okay, problem to the surrounding environment and possible social conflicts. So the more intensive your aquaculture projects are, okay, the bigger it is, the more problem or issues it will have with the surrounding environment and possible social conflicts and so on and so forth, right? Okay. All right, I want to stop there on the rest of the slides I mentioned just now. Okay. All right. So, any questions on that, guys? Ada soalan tak? Tak ada, eh? Good. All right. Okay. Okay, so I like to proceed with our lab, but before that, I asked all of you to cooperate and then give Ellie your group, okay? And we're supposed to have like 6 groups. Each group comprised 5 to 6 people. So dah ada Ali, that particular group of students. Dah ada dah? Do you have that?
In making,
Hello?
sir.
Atau not yet?
In making.
Making, it's all right. Now, saya, what is it now? Okay, now it's fine. It's fine. You don't have to get it done now or today, but just get it. You can keep it. You can keep. You guys just need to assist Ellie before you send in your results or your what do you call this? Your lab next week. Okay, like this time. Now it's Monday. Monday next week, your lab is due. You see, 1 week. All right. So whenever we have a lab, it will be due 1 week from the day of the lab. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So in terms of who are in the groups, you make sure that you send the names to Ellie. She will organize who are in the group. Okay, and then I would also like to make sure that all of you give her your cooperation, and also in each group, make sure everyone have a role to play. Everyone contributes to the lab work. All right, not just being a free rider. Free rider means what? Just follow only lah. Don't do work. Free rider we call it. Okay, so it's important for all of you to take part and work in a team. Okay, now I will let you know my email as well. Once you have completed your work or your lab work, then the ketua kumpulan, the head, okay, of that particular group will send it to me, your results and your lab, okay, at my email. I will give you my email after this. Okay, all right. Don't send it to Ellie, please. Send it to me, okay? You don't want Ellie to don't give extra work to Ellie. That's not her job. You have to send your report to me. I need to compile that, okay? Ellie is simply helping out with the names of the group and who are the people in the group. But your report goes to me, all right? Okay, so why don't I share with you what I mean by what I would like you to do for this first lab, okay? Okay, now this is our first lab, okay? Can you see this, guys?
Yes.
Yes, okay, so this is the lab we're gonna do for today, all right? And the work I like you to do is essentially you can do this at home. Okay, at home or in campus, it doesn't matter. But you need to go out either to the pasar or go to anywhere they sell fish and get 5 species of freshwater fish. Not marine, freshwater fish. Okay. Now, what are freshwater fish? You know freshwater fish, what they are. Ikan keli, tilapia, haruan, ikan baung, ikan patin. That's 5 already. Okay, all right. Whatever fish. 5 species of freshwater fish for each group. Okay, now each group choose 5 species of freshwater fish. So maybe because I mentioned earlier in my group is 5 to 6 people. So each of you maybe choose, will be responsible for 1 species, maybe in one group. You discuss among yourselves. I don't know. It depends on your group. Okay. But I would expect that to happen because you are working together, right? So each person in that particular group, you just get 1 species of fish. It doesn't matter whether the fish is cultured or wild caught. Wild caught means what? Pancing. You get it from the wild, you buy it at the fish market. Hey, freshwater fish lah. This is wild caught. It's interesting. I want to show Cik La about this fish. I don't think he has seen this fish before. Okay, so all right. So you want to show that fish to us, to share with us. So that's a wild caught fish. Cultured, of course, you know, the kind of fish which normally cultured. Okay, you can find it or purchase. You don't need to buy a lot. Just buy one. Okay, a few. I mean, you want. Let's say you go to the shop. You want to, eat some fish. And at the same time, you just get one for this particular purpose. All right. Then you want to identify the species and its local name. For instance, let's say you have your species. Okay. Example. Okay. Your ikan patin. All right. Ikan patin you buy at the market. The species is Pangasius, right? Right. Now, the Pangasius what? There are so many Pangasius. All right. So make sure you know the right name. Pangasius what? Pangasius is genus. What is the species? Pangasius something. All right. What about Puyu? Puyu. Puyu is Anabas something. So you make sure you write down the species name, Anabas, whatever, and then the local name is Ikan Puyu. You can even write the Chinese name, the Indian name, or even the Kadazan or Iban name. It's good if you can put that. If you have the name, the local name in your place there, in Sabah, for instance, okay, and it's a Kadazan name for that particular freshwater species, I like to know that also. If you have a local species for a fish that you caught in freshwater in Sarawak, I like to know that as well. All right. So 5 species is good enough. Identify the species name and the local name. And you want to take a picture of each species and name the external anatomical features. Now, this is very simple exercise, very simple lab. What external anatomical features, what anatomy I like you to look at, I'll show you shortly. And then draw up a table of comparison among the fish species. You do a table and you make the comparison. Okay, I'll show you what I mean. Okay, hold on. All right. Where is it now? Okay. Oops. Where is that? Okay. Lab 1, this one. Okay, freshwater fish. Okay, this is the one. Okay. Now this is the one that I like you to look at. I will share with you this particular document in your WhatsApp. Okay. All right. And essentially to familiarize with some freshwater fish, not shrimp. I just want you to go and buy fish only, not shrimp. Fish commonly cultured. Here it says commonly cultured in Malaysia. I would like you to go and get freshwater fish, either you culture or wild caught. Just now I mentioned to you, right? Culture or wild caught. So change this to familiarize with some freshwater fish commonly cultured or wild caught in Malaysia. And then you to identify the external anatomy of the fish, not crustacean. We do crustacean some other time. Today is only for fish. Okay, so what you need to do, since you don't have this lab in practical in our lab, you have to just buy that fish and do your own observation and your labeling at your home or here in the campus without having to go to the lab. All right. Okay. So what you want to do, take a photography shoot or take a photograph of the specimen that you buy. Okay. Here it says provided. No, I'm not providing the specimen to you. You have to just buy them yourself. Okay. All right. Just buy one fish is enough lah. You know, like ikan keli. You buy one ikan keli. One kilo is like RM7, for instance. One ikan keli is only RM1. That's it. Very cheap. Okay. Okay. So take a photograph of the fish species. I want you to name the scientific names here. Okay. All right. And then here it says latest annual production ton and value. Okay. you don't need to do this. You don't need to take the latest annual production and value, not necessary. Okay, you just need to do the scientific names, right? This annual production and value is not required for my lab. Okay, compare with the external anatomy using here. Okay, now you see this table. Let's say you have the 5 species. Now remember the species accordingly. All right. So what is tilapia? Oreochromis something. All right. So anabas here. So clarias. So pangasius. And what else? Okay. So 5 fish species. And then here you look at the footnote. Barbels, dorsal fin, adipose fin, caudal fin, whatever here. Whether the fin is spiny or hard red, soft ray, forked, rounded, whatever. All right, so these are some of the descriptive terms that you use for your fish. But this is more like it. I think you prefer like this picture. What type of caudal fin? What type of mouth shape? What type of teeth? Here, example of the fins. And here is a close-up of all the fins of this particular ikan baung. It's ikan baung, huh? All right. So if you get yourself an ikan baung, you can follow this already lah. Barbels lah, pectoral fin, pelvic anal, and so on and so forth. But remember, ikan keli is different from ikan baung. Huh? Ikan keli, you don't see any bubble adipose fin in ikan keli. All right. And ikan keli do not have this spiny or hard red dorsal fin. All right. Of course, ikan keli got these bubbles also. Macam misai ni, bubbles. Okay, so I will give you this to refer to. You will give me back in your report this table like this, all right, to compare among the species. At the same time, I'd like you to also give me the functions of the different fin types. Explain to this. So the table just now, see this table? This is important for you to give me your report in. So that report will have this one table, okay? And then that report also will answer these questions. Explain the functions of the different fin types. How is the body shape of each fish species related to its habitat? And then how is the mouth shape and feet type of each species related to its food preferences, okay? Now you look at this picture here. Look at this. So this is terminal, subterminal, inferior, superior. All right. So when you have your fish, the mouth is like this or like this. What do they eat? Is it the same kind of food? Is it different food? Okay. Look at this mouth here, going up like this. This is coming down. Superior, subterminal. Do they eat the same kind of prey item or maybe different? All right. Look at the mouth shape here. Look at the teeth configuration of teeth shape here. With this sort of teeth, you see the fish. What do they eat? Are they carnivorous? Are they phytoplanktonic? They only eat plankton? Do they eat insects, the base of the river and so on? So you explain to me the function of the mouth parts and also the teeth here. Okay? All right. So that's all. In fact, there's only 3 questions I'd like to answer, other than the fact that you're going to, some of you have some answers already to some of these questions earlier. All right. Okay. What else is it? This is about it. So I will give you in this WhatsApp this particular lab 1, this table which you need to reproduce and send to me for each group. Okay, and then the picture of your fish, you need to name the various parts of the fish here. Remember, when you take the fish out, either from your holding tank or from the river, whatever, you make sure that you take good care of them, okay? Then you can identify this as well. If you buy fish which is dead from the shop, it's okay lah. Dead fish from the pasar, from the market, it's all right. Okay, you can easily take a look and very clearly. Some of the fish which is live can be quite hectic to take picture of. Okay, all right. So so this will be your answer. This table plus also the questions that I posted to you in the just now. This one. Okay. Right. 1, 2, 3. Right. So these are the expectation lah for your lab, which you can do it at the convenience of your home, right? And then you just have to give me back or email to me back a picture of your fish and then what it eats, okay? What is the habitat like and so on, okay? All right. Okay. Are we okay here? You guys can see me? All right, I stop presenting right now. Boleh tak?
Boleh.
Boleh, sir.
Okay. Now, is that clear? Boleh ya? That's clear, right? Clear.
Okay lah.
All right. Yes. So, so you just need to discuss among yourselves in your group who is supposed to go and buy what fish, and then you want to identify the external parts of the fish, and then answer my questions, and then those answers what you do. Now remember, I want you to take picture of the fish, so that I know exactly what fish that you buy. Before I asked the student to sketch some fish, and the student sketched the fish. I was not sure whether it is a tilapia or a catfish or a hybrid between tilapia or catfish. I was like, what fish is this? Is it a hybrid? Doesn't look like tilapia because it has its bubbles, but it has scales. Catfish don't have scales, all right? So I was a bit confused, okay? And then the guy said, this is like a hybrid between catfish and tilapia. It has scales, it has bubbles. I said, no, you don't do that in your lab lah, okay? Those fish does not exist yet, so don't do that. All right. Anyway, this is all I like to share with all of you, and then I will just share it with you in the WhatsApp group very quickly after this, so that you can all start doing it. And remember, by Monday, okay, by Monday at 3 p.m. or so, when we start the next class, then you just send me your results. Boleh ya? Okay, guys? Right. So any other questions you're not sure of, or anything related to the slides that I mentioned earlier or I shared with you earlier on aquaculture, introduction to aquaculture and status? Azlin Syafini, ada apa-apa soalan? Azlin? Tak ada. Can you guys turn on your camera, please? I want to take picture. That's about it, for this lab. All right. Turn on your cameras. Just a quick picture, everybody. As part of my requirement, I just want to make sure that I take picture of everyone. Yes.
A question. So
Yes.
kan, like we need to beli the ikan live kah ataupun mati pun boleh?
Mati pun boleh.
But then mau observe di luar ya kan?
Yes, you are right. Observe di luar saja.
Kalau kita beli tidak payah buang sisik di alat tuh.
Tak payah. I
Because
want
we
you.
need to observe the sisik juga kan?
Yes,
Is
yes.
it?
Yes,
Oh yeah,
you.
okay.
Yeah, you want to also show the picture close up of the sisay and the rest. Okay, all right. Try to call this. Try to identify as much as you can in terms of the external morphology lah. All right. Okay, you may put in additional information other than the one I gave you on the mouth shape, on the teeth shape, and also on the fin types. You want to add any more things also which you think is relevant to that particular fish, you are welcome to do so. Boleh. All right. Okay, so I have not taken your picture yet. How come I cannot see your hold on, maybe because of the line. Okay, let's see everyone again. Okay, I want to take a snap very quickly. All right. Okay, 1, 2. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, hold on. Sekejap ya, sekejap. I just want to keep this for a while. Okay, so just save this to my clipboard. Okay. Okay. So I got a picture of all of you in the morning and in the afternoon already. Okay, hold on, just another one. Okay. All right. So, is there anything else you want to ask me? Anything you're not sure of? Hold on, let me see here. I hope I have everyone's. Okay, do I have everyone here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 30. 10, 30. Okay. All right. So ada 30. Okay. What happened just now? Okay, nothing. All right. I want to make sure I get everyone faces in here. Let me see. I might be missing out some of you here. Hold on. Mana? One, 2, 3, 6, 7. Okay, just take another one picture, guys. One more. Okay, satu lagi. 1, 2, 3. Okay, baru nampak Izzah. Tadi tak nampak Izzah. Okay, ni baru nampak. Alright. There you go. Sekejap. Okay. Now better. Okay. Alright. So I think that's about it for today's class. Okay? Guys? Hello? Boleh dengar ke?
Okay, Cik Lah.
Okay, Cik Lah.
Thank you, Nur Afifi Izzati. Thank you. All right. So anything I will share with you in the WhatsApp group. And then anything you're not sure of, you can ask there as well. Boleh?
Boleh, Cik Lah.
Okay.
Boleh,
Good.
Cik Lah.
Good. All right. So that's it for today. Thank you very much, and catch up with you a bit later. All right. Bye.
Thank you, Cik Lah.
Terima kasih.
Thank you, Cik Lah.
Thank you, Cik Lah.
Thank you, Cik Lah.
Thank you, Cik Lah.
Thank you, Cik Lah.